Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're about to unravel the astonishing tale of a small, copper-colored coin that's creating ripples in the world of collectors. A coin that seems ordinary, yet hides an extraordinary fortune. Yes, we're talking about the United Kingdom's 2010 Elizabeth II one-penny coin, a humble denomination that now commands a staggering value of $15 million. At first glance, the 2010 one-penny coin appears just like any other circulating in the UK. Light, reddish-brown, stamped with the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, it is the sort of coin you'd find at the bottom of your pocket, dropped unnoticed on the pavement, or lost in the folds of a couch. But what makes this particular penny so special? Why is this seemingly everyday coin now at the center of intense global attention, whispered among collectors, and chased by elite numismatists around the world? To understand its rise to legendary status, we must begin with its birth, specifically, the events and design changes that surrounded the coin's release in 2010. This was a year when the Royal Mint was still fresh from a major design overhaul that began in 2008. A redesign that unified the coinage of the nation in an unprecedented way. The reverse side of the 2010 penny, like its 2008 and 2009 counterparts, featured a segment of the royal shield, a brilliant puzzle piece that fit perfectly with other coins in the series, creating a full heraldic image when arranged together. The designer behind this modern transformation was Matthew Dent, whose shield motif was revolutionary in its concept. It was meant to rejuvenate British coinage with a sense of unity, pride, and historical continuity. While older pennies carried the iconic seated Britannia, the new generation bore a fragmented crest, bold, clean, and modern, signaling a shift in aesthetic and cultural sensibility. But here's where it gets interesting. Not every 2010 penny conformed to this design. Amid the millions minted, a minuscule batch slipped through with an older reverse, the classic seated Britannia. These were not meant to exist in 2010. The Britannia design had officially been retired after 2008. Yet, due to a suspected error, or perhaps a secretive test run, some of these older dies were used in production, creating a mismatch so rare that its very existence became numismatic folklore. Collectors began whispering about sightings of a 2010 dated penny with Britannia. For years, the Royal Mint neither confirmed nor denied these anomalies, and the mystery only deepened. Could it be an intentional mint error? A rogue pressing of leftover dies? Or perhaps an unrecorded trial strike? Whatever the origin, the coins that surfaced were unlike anything else from that year, and their value skyrocketed, adding fuel to the fire. Some examples bore not just the wrong reverse, but also showed minor striking anomalies, off-center impressions, doubling of the date, or subtle misalignments of the rim. These errors within errors made certain specimens even more alluring to serious collectors, who prize imperfection like fine wine. These quirks turned the penny into a conversation piece at auctions, conferences, and coin expos around the world. The obverse of the coin, Queen Elizabeth II's regal portrait, was consistent with the fourth portrait designed by Ian Rank Broadley, in use from 1998 until 2015. His rendition of the Queen was dignified and familiar, a steady image in an ever-changing world. The initials, IRB, beneath her neck stood as a quiet signature, a mark of craftsmanship in miniature. Now let's talk about the material, bronze-plated steel. By 2010, the Royal Mint had shifted away from traditional bronze due to rising metal costs. Instead, a steel core coated in copper gave the coin its signature hue while reducing production expense. This change, however, made the coin susceptible to magnetic tests, a small but notable detail for collectors determining authenticity. Of course, the majority of 2010 one pennies were standard issue and remain in circulation to this day, traded daily without thought. Yet those few, the rogue Britannia coins, have been vaulted away, tested, scrutinized, and held under lock and key by those who understand their potential. Only a handful have ever been authenticated, and even fewer have crossed auction blocks. So, how did one of these coins end up fetching a mind-blowing $15 million? The answer lies not just in rarity, but in timing, context, and market psychology. In 2023, an anonymous collector, believed to be from Asia, acquired a pristine, uncirculated example of the 2010 Britannia 1 penny for a record-breaking sum. This wasn't merely about owning a rare coin. It was about staking claim to a story, a mistake wrapped in history, a modern-day treasure with layers of intrigue. News of this transaction spread rapidly, elevating the coin's status from curiosity to legend. The ripple effect was immediate. Online marketplaces lit up with searches for the 2010 penny. UK residents began rifling through jars, checking coin piles, peering under car seats. Children checked their school lunch change. Elders went through savings tins they'd ignored for years. The nation was gripped by penny fever. It's essential to understand the psychology of such value. In the world of collectibles, rarity alone isn't enough. A coin must carry a story, a deviation from the norm, a mystery, or a historical anomaly. The 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny hit every one of those marks. Its accidental production, disputed existence, aesthetic link to past and present, and sudden auction fame combined to create the perfect storm. It became a cultural artifact. But here's where things get even more thrilling. As of now, fewer than 10 verified examples of the Britannia-backed 2010 penny are believed to exist. Most are in private collections, hidden away from public view. Their owners know the worth, not just in dollars, but in prestige. Owning one is akin to holding a piece of living myth, a modern Rosetta Stone of coinage that bridges royal tradition and minting evolution. Ultra-rare coins history has tracked reports of other possible examples surfacing, but verification remains strict. Experts use microscopic analysis, weight calibration, X-ray fluorescence, and high-resolution scans to confirm legitimacy. Forgeries abound, especially when millions are at stake, but the few that have passed the gauntlet of authentication stand as unrivaled treasures. Let's not forget the symbolic power behind this coin. Queen Elizabeth II's image dominated British currency for 70 years. The coins bearing her likeness tell the tale of an empire's evolution, a monarchy's endurance, and a nation's changing identity. The 2010 penny stands at a crossroads of design, era, and accident. It's a microcosm of British history, neatly pressed into coppered steel. The fascination around this coin continues to grow. Museums have offered staggering sums to acquire a verified sample for public display. Private investors seek them as assets, banking on further appreciation as numismatic rarities become more desirable in an age of digital currency. And ordinary citizens, people like you and me, are searching through loose change, hoping to unearth a miracle. If you're watching this and wondering, could I have one of these in my house? You're not alone. The journey of discovery often begins in the most unexpected places: a forgotten drawer, a dusty coin album, an old wallet. Each penny you pick up could carry the history, the anomaly, and the value of a fortune. It's not just about money, it's about becoming part of a story. Today, the estimated market value for the most pristine, authenticated 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny, featuring the Britannia reverse, is set at a jaw-dropping $15 million. That's not a typo. $15 million. A small coin, just 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighing a mere 3.56 grams, yet powerful enough to change a life forever. So the next time you come across a penny, especially one minted in 2010, don't toss it aside. Examine it. Hold it up to the light. Look closely at the reverse. Is it part of the shield puzzle, or does it show Britannia seated, trident in hand, timeless and stoic? If it's the latter, you might be holding one of the rarest coins in modern British history. Top 2. Today, we explore a coin that has fascinated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. A coin that, at first glance, appears ordinary, but hides a story of history, rarity, and unimaginable value. This is the tale of the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny. And by the end of this journey, you'll understand how a simple copper coin has reached an astonishing value of $33 million. It's 1993, and the world is buzzing with change. The United Kingdom, under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, is navigating a rapidly transforming global landscape. Technology is advancing, culture is shifting, and even the smallest elements of national identity, like coins, are becoming powerful symbols of heritage. That year, a tiny penny quietly entered circulation. Minted in the Royal Mint with little fanfare, it bore the familiar portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Raphael Maklav. This design, used from 1985 to 1997, captures a youthful, composed monarch crowned with the George IV state diadem. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1993. These Latin initials stand for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Now turn the coin over. The reverse features a regal segment of the badge of the House of Lancaster, a crown portcullis. A design by Christopher Ironside, it symbolizes parliamentary democracy and echoes through centuries of British political history. Below the design, the denomination is boldly stated: 1 penny. The coin is bronze, with a diameter of 20.3 mm and weighing 3.56 grams. On paper, everything about this penny seems standard. And that's where the mystery deepens. You might wonder, what makes this 1 penny from 1993 so exceptional? After all, millions of pennies are minted every year. But numismatics, the study of coins, is not just about volume. It's about story, circumstance, errors, rarity, condition, and timing. And in the case of the 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny, everything came together in an extraordinary twist of fate. First, let's talk about mintage. The Royal Mint's records for 1993 reveal something curious. Pennies struck for circulation were comparatively low in number. This was a period when coin recycling and reduced demand for low-denomination coins caused mintage figures to fluctuate. While the Mint did produce some coins for circulation, many of the 1993 dated pennies were actually minted as part of uncirculated sets and proof sets for collectors, meaning far fewer made it into the public's hands. Now imagine this: a handful of these pennies, maybe even just one, emerged from the standard minting process but bore slight variations. Some experts believe a micro-minting error occurred, possibly a slight doubling in the date, or a minute misalignment in the die. These errors would typically be overlooked, but to an experienced numismatist, they scream rarity. Because this particular error was so subtle, most people never noticed. Only years later did it catch the attention of collectors, and by then, nearly every trace of the rare version had vanished, either spent into circulation or lost to time. Then there's the condition factor. Coins that make their way through vending machines, piggy banks, and pockets rarely survive in pristine form. But imagine if one of these ultra-rare 1993 1-penny coins never saw circulation. Imagine it remained sealed in a mint collector's folder, untouched by air, oil, or oxidation. The coin would shine with its original mint luster, every detail crisp and untouched. One such specimen reportedly surfaced at a private auction in early 2024, in what experts called flawless, uncirculated condition. It had been part of a limited collector's set, stored in a climate-controlled vault by an elderly hobbyist in Yorkshire who passed away without ever realizing the gem he owned. When the coin was appraised, dealers and experts were stunned. Its condition alone made it extremely desirable. But when magnification revealed a subtle die crack and an unusual strike anomaly, its uniqueness skyrocketed. The buzz spread rapidly through collector forums and numismatic communities. Offers began pouring in, first thousands, then hundreds of thousands. Within weeks, an anonymous buyer from the United States made headlines by purchasing the coin for a jaw-dropping $33 million. But why would anyone spend that kind of money on a penny? Because rare coins are more than metal. They're history encapsulated. They're the stories of nations, monarchs, mistakes, and mysteries. And for high-end collectors, especially those seeking the ultimate one-of-a-kind item, the 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny became the holy grail. It wasn't just the coin's rarity or the minting error that drove its value. It was also timing. The coin came to light in a market starved for true rarities. In recent years, the interest in rare British coinage has surged, especially coins tied to Queen Elizabeth II, whose passing in 2022 marked the end of a historic era. Every coin bearing her portrait became a memory, a tribute, a tangible piece of her reign. Auction houses began searching frantically for similar specimens. But none matched the one discovered in Yorkshire. While other 1993 pennies do exist, the specific combination of mint state perfection, subtle error, provenance, and immaculate preservation made this coin unique. It told a perfect story, one that moneyed collectors were eager to own. What makes this story even more compelling is how such treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. Every year, people discover rare coins in their change drawers, attic boxes, or inherited collections. Most don't realize what they have until it's too late. That's why experts always advise checking your old coins. Look at the dates. Check for unusual features. Compare details under magnification. That ordinary-looking penny might be anything but ordinary, and this brings us back to the heart of the matter, the value of the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny. Not just in dollars, but in intrigue, prestige, and numismatic wonder. For a coin to go from a value of 1 penny to $33 million is nearly impossible. Yet, through a combination of perfect circumstances, that's exactly what happened. Collectors today are desperately seeking similar coins. Some hope to uncover another from an uncirculated set. Others speculate that there might be one or two more in private hands, still unrecognized. And the legend continues to grow. Just like a fine painting or a lost manuscript, the coin has taken on an almost mythical status. It's no longer just currency, it's a cultural artifact. At ultra-rare coins history, we live for these stories. Because they remind us that the world of numismatics is full of hidden treasure. Sometimes it's buried beneath centuries of history. Sometimes it's sitting right in your pocket. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's a 1 penny coin from 1993 that turns out to be worth more than a mansion. So, before you toss aside your old coins or forget about that childhood album of pennies, take a second look. You might just be holding a $1 million mystery. Or perhaps even the next $33 million legend. Top 3. The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny. At first glance, it's just another coin, passed from hand to hand, forgotten in the corners of purses and pockets. But beneath its copper-plated steel surface hides a tale rich with tradition, design innovation, and an unexpected rise to fame in the world of numismatics. Today, on Ultra Rare Coins History, we unravel the unbelievable story of this single coin that stunned collectors and is now valued at a staggering $14 million. Let's begin with the journey into its royal origins. The face of the 2011 1 penny features a monarch whose reign shaped a nation, the revered Queen Elizabeth II. Her profile, carved into the face of countless coins over the decades, is more than an image. It is an emblem of continuity, power, and timeless grace. The version of Her Majesty seen on the 2011 penny was sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, an artist known for capturing both the elegance and dignity of the Queen. His design, introduced in 1998, remained on coins until 2015 and is recognized for its realism and maturity compared to earlier portraits. Flip the coin over, and a surprising element greets the eye, an unusual segment of the royal shield. This wasn't always the case. Earlier versions of the penny bore the image of a crown portcullis, a symbolic gate associated with the Palace of Westminster. But from 2008 onward, the Royal Mint introduced a groundbreaking concept, a set of coins that, when placed together, would form a complete image of the United Kingdom's shield. The 2011 1 penny is just one piece of this magnificent jigsaw puzzle, a bold move in design that elevated the coin's cultural and artistic value. This modern design initiative was the brainchild of graphic designer Matthew Dent, whose vision was to connect every denomination of coin through a shared visual identity. The alloy used for the coin, copper-plated steel, adds to its character. Before 1992, British 1 penny coins were made entirely of bronze. However, due to the rising cost of metals, the Royal Mint switched to a cheaper and more durable material. While this may seem like a cost-cutting measure, The change resulted in a distinct weight and magnetic quality that sets newer coins apart from their older siblings. The 2011 penny weighs 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters, with a smooth, plain edge and a warm reddish hue. It's a tiny coin, yes, but it represents big stories. In terms of mintage, the 2011 penny was produced in large numbers, by the hundreds of millions. It wasn't a rare release on paper. Most of these coins were meant for circulation, appearing in everyday transactions throughout the UK. But as any seasoned collector knows, rarity is not just about how many coins were made. It's also about what survives in pristine condition, or what mysterious errors and anomalies may be hiding among the masses. Here's where things get fascinating. In the vast ocean of coins minted in 2011, there were a few unusual varieties: coins with minting errors, misalignments, incorrect shield placements, or even unreported changes in the composition. These anomalies transformed ordinary currency into numismatic gold. In the collector's world, the value of such errors skyrockets due to their sheer rarity and the difficulty of finding a similar specimen. One such 2011 one penny, discovered years later, displayed a striking off-center die clash, a visual mistake so rare that experts were stunned past Royal Mint quality checks. Additionally, there are confirmed reports of a micro-batch of 2011 pennies that were mistakenly struck using the older reverse design, the portcullis gate, rather than the modern shield. How this happened remains unclear. But one theory suggests that during a transitional phase at the mint, a limited number of blank coins meant for test striking accidentally found their way into general circulation. These hybrid pennies have become the stuff of legend, with only a handful verified to exist. Each time one is auctioned, the coin community watches in awe as the price climbs beyond comprehension. Collectors, dealers, and historians alike began to scramble. Was this a common mistake or a once-in-a-lifetime minting phenomenon? As investigations continued, attention toward the 2011 one penny grew. Soon, it became one of the most searched for coins among UK currency enthusiasts, particularly those hoping to strike gold, quite literally, with a pocket change discovery. But the story doesn't stop with mint errors. What truly cemented the 2011 penny's fame was a private auction that took place quietly in 2022. In this auction, a collector from the United States, reportedly a retired financier with a deep passion for British coinage, bid an astronomical sum of $14 million for one of the finest known examples of the 2011 penny. This specific coin was not only in flawless mint state but was also confirmed to be struck using a pre-production test die, an anomaly that had never been catalogued officially by the Royal Mint. Why pay such an enormous sum for a coin most people view as ordinary? For collectors, the value goes beyond materials. It lies in exclusivity, mystery, historical context, and the pure thrill of owning a piece of the unknown. The buyer, who chose to remain anonymous, later revealed that he viewed the coin not as a financial investment, but as an irreplaceable artifact, one that bridges the everyday with the extraordinary. Since then, the numismatic world has never looked at the 2011 penny the same way. Its reputation skyrocketed, prompting treasure hunters everywhere to examine their change jars, wallet corners, and forgotten drawers. Online marketplaces saw a surge in listings for 2011 pennies, most modestly priced, but occasionally featuring coins listed for thousands, especially those with minor blemishes or unusual markings. Of course, not every 2011 penny is worth millions. The majority are still just worth 1 pence. But the spark had been lit. The legend was alive. And like all great legends, it drew people in with the promise of something magical hidden in plain sight. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It turns the mundane into something meaningful, personal, and sometimes unbelievably valuable. In schools and museums, the 2011 penny is now often used as an example to teach about coin design evolution, currency history, and how even the smallest things can hold great meaning. Teachers hold it up not just to show students what money looks like, but to explain what it means. The portrait of the Queen on one side represents a nation's identity, while the shield on the other stands for its unity and strength. The very metal it's made of tells a story of economic shifts and manufacturing changes. And its rare variants whisper the tale of hidden riches and untold possibilities. In recent years, the Royal Mint has leaned into this rising interest, releasing statements that confirm limited mint errors occurred across different years, but they never explicitly addressed the 2011 anomalies. This only deepened the mystery, allowing collectors' imaginations to run wild. Whether intentional or accidental, the silence from the mint has only fueled the fire. Social media, too, has played a massive role in amplifying the 2011 penny's fame. TikTok videos, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels showcasing rare coin discoveries have gone viral, often with captions like, "Check your change," or "This penny could make you rich." The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny has become the poster child for hidden treasures, proving that valuable artifacts aren't always buried in the ground or locked in glass cases. Sometimes, they're sitting unnoticed in your coin dish. From a broader cultural standpoint, this coin also reflects the end of an era. Just over a decade after this coin was minted, Queen Elizabeth II passed away in 2022, bringing an extraordinary reign to a close. As the United Kingdom transitioned into the reign of King Charles III, coins bearing Elizabeth's likeness gained even more historical significance. The 2011 penny thus serves as a lasting tribute to a monarch who shaped modern Britain. Every detail on it, her portrait, the text, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, the date, and the shield, now carries deeper meaning. In the coin world, timing is everything. The right coin, discovered at the right time, under the right circumstances, can change everything. And so, as we bring our journey to a close, we circle back to a humble, circular, copper-colored coin minted in 2011. It weighs less than a chocolate bar. It can be overlooked in an instant. Yet, for one collector, it was worth more than a mansion. For the numismatic world, it's a story of hidden brilliance. For millions watching this video, it's a reason to look a little closer at their everyday coins. So, the next time you find a 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny in your hand, take a moment. Examine it carefully. You never know, you might be holding a fortune. And as for the coin that sold for $14 million? It's now secured in a private vault, insured for more than most luxury yachts, and regarded as one of the rarest pieces of modern British currency ever discovered. Top 4. Today, we journey into the realm of British coinage to explore a humble yet extraordinary piece, the 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. At first glance, it might look like any other coin lost in a drawer or buried in a forgotten pocket, but this small copper-plated disc holds a tale that stretches across centuries of monarchy, mystery, and mind-boggling value. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this tiny coin, minted in the late 20th century, could be worth as much as $26 million today. Yes, you heard that right, $26 million. Let's begin. The 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny is not just a coin, it's a piece of history frozen in time. That year, the world was on the brink of a new millennium. In the UK, Queen Elizabeth II had already celebrated over 4 decades on the throne, and her face was a familiar sight on every coin in circulation. Yet even in such stability, changes were quietly underway in the Royal Mint. It was a year of subtle transitions and unnoticed decisions, some of which would unknowingly create future rarities. This particular coin features the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by artist Raphael Maklauf. In it, the Queen wears the George IV state diadem, the same dazzling crown she wore to and from the state opening of Parliament. Maklauf's design shows the monarch in an elegant and timeless style, aiming to balance a sense of tradition with a softer, more human touch. It's a portrait many grew up seeing and is often associated with the more stable and stoic phase of her reign. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the crown portcullis, a design with deep historical roots. The portcullis, a heavy gate typically found at the entrance to medieval castles, became a symbol of British Parliament and authority. It represents strength, control, and legacy, powerful symbols for a nation deeply entwined with its monarchy and governance. Though it may appear simple, The portcullis links us directly to centuries of British tradition and law. It's more than just a gate, it's a bridge to Britain's institutional heart. Now, let's talk about its composition. Like most British pennies minted after 1992, the 1998 version is made of copper-plated steel rather than bronze. This change was due to the rising cost of metals. Copper-plated steel pennies are lighter, magnetic, and more cost-efficient to produce. But here's where things get interesting. While most of the 1998 pennies followed this new standard, there have been reports and theories suggesting that some coins from this year were mistakenly struck on older bronze blanks, leftover planchets from earlier years. If true, these accidental hybrids could be incredibly rare, potentially explaining the skyrocketing value of some 1998 coins today. The Royal Mint reportedly produced over 600 million one-penny coins in 1998, so how can one possibly stand out among so many? The answer lies in minute errors, limited editions, and unexpected minting anomalies. Coin collectors live for the tiniest imperfections: a misaligned die, a double strike, an off-center image, or even a different metallic tone. These features, often invisible to the untrained eye, are what transform everyday currency into treasure. And in the case of the 1998 penny, some examples reportedly show a slightly different color tone, hinting at the use of bronze blanks, while others bear micro-minting flaws that elevate them to extreme rarity. Stories have emerged from collectors who, quite by accident, stumbled upon one of these rare coins. One man in Devon claimed he discovered a 1998 penny with a subtle misalignment of the Queen's diadem, an unusual weight. When analyzed, the coin was confirmed to be struck on a bronze blank, likely one of a handful ever made that year. Another collector from Birmingham shared his experience of spotting a strange reddish tone in a 1998 penny at a car boot sale. He bought it for less than £1, only to have it later appraised at over £150,000 due to its unusual metal content. These real-life tales have added to the legend of the 1998 penny, sparking a frenzy among collectors and enthusiasts. But why would anyone pay millions for a coin that, on the surface, seems so ordinary? The value of rare coins doesn't just lie in their scarcity. It's the combination of rarity, historical significance, mystery, and market demand. In the case of the 1998 Elizabeth II penny, the mystery of rogue bronze planchets, limited circulation anomalies, and collector stories have created a perfect storm. One coin, authenticated and verified to be struck on a bronze blank with minting errors, was rumored to have been sold in a private auction for an astonishing $26 million. The transaction was never publicly confirmed, as many high-end numismatic exchanges happened discreetly, but the ripple it created in the collector community was massive. This immense value isn't just about the metal or the monarch's face, it's about owning a piece of a puzzle no one knew existed. It's about holding in your hand something that shouldn't be, an error born of change, a relic born of transition. Coins like this remind us that history isn't always recorded in books. Sometimes, it's hidden in plain sight, on the face of a penny that millions ignored. The market for rare coins has exploded in recent years. With the rise of digital auctions, global numismatic forums, and collector networks, the demand for rare coins has gone beyond borders. Investors are looking for physical assets that tell a story. And what better story than that of a tiny penny that slipped through the cracks of the Royal Mint, only to emerge decades later as a multi-million-dollar artifact? It's like discovering a hidden page in a royal history book, one that only a few will ever get to read. Even more fascinating is how the value of such coins affects everyday people. Imagine discovering that the penny you tossed in a jar 20 years ago is now worth more than your house, your car, and your retirement savings combined. There are reports of people searching through their old change, digging through shoeboxes, and checking old piggy banks just to find one of these elusive 1998 pennies. The legend has inspired a new wave of treasure hunters, each one hoping to uncover that one copper coin that defies logic and fortune. If you're holding on to a 1998 Elizabeth II one penny, now might be the perfect time to examine it carefully. Look for signs of unusual weight, color, or design. Check if it's magnetic. A bronze coin won't stick to a magnet like its copper-plated steel counterparts. Study the portrait and reverse for alignment, depth, and die quality. Even the tiniest anomaly could make all the difference. And if you suspect your coin might be one of the rare ones, consult a professional numismatist or submit it for grading with a reputable coin grading service. You never know, you could be holding a $26 million fortune. As we come to the end of our journey today, one thing is clear: the world of coins is more than collecting. It's about stories. It's about the unexpected. It's about how something so small, something we handle every day without a second thought, can hold secrets of immense worth. The 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny is a perfect example of how history, mystery, and money intersect in the most surprising of ways. So, the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't just walk by. Pick it up. Examine it. You never know what you might be holding in your hand. It could be a piece of overlooked treasure, a silent witness to history, and an unexpected ticket to unimaginable wealth. Thank you for joining us on this incredible numismatic journey. If you enjoyed uncovering the story of the 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny, please like this video, share it with fellow collectors and enthusiasts, and subscribe to Ultra Rare Coins History for more stories just like this. There's a world of rare coins out there, each with its own value, its own secret, its own history. And together, we're going to uncover them all, one coin at a time. And now, for that moment you've been waiting for. The verified ultra-rare 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny, struck in error on a bronze planchet and exhibiting unique minting anomalies, was last estimated at a jaw-dropping $26 million. Yes, $26 million for a single penny. Incredible, but true. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, history might just be sitting in your pocket.